in the front axle of my Suburban. Yeah, I'm going to do it in the driveway. They say it's pretty simple. Hang out with me and I'll show you how to do it. I think we're going to have a fun day.
It shows up in a big white Suburban.
Got some parts for my project today. I'm going to ruin my truck. Well, according to the internet. I was doing some research and I'm going to use a drop-in automatic locker. Everybody told me I would ruin the drivability of my truck. So I said challenge accepted. The locker I decided to go with, one that I think is probably the best for my situation, seeing as it is a Dana 44 and my truck is quite heavy. I wanted something that's pretty tough. I decided to use the Torq Masters, the Torq Locker. It is it's probably the newest, toughest version of a drop-in locker. I've wanted to put a front locker in the Suburban since I did the Tahoe overlanding solid axle swap. I've wanted to put in a locker. So the first thing I'm going to do is drain the diff. One of my favorite things about this Dana Spicer cover is the drain plug. But one of the worst things about the Dana Spicer cover is a diff plug. It is filled full of rocks and dirt, and it's kind of smashed up a little bit. I seem to bounce that thing on the rocks quite a bit. Well, let me go get an extension and drive that sucker up in there. Got a wobble extension. Maybe it'll go in there. Oh, it's closer. There we go. My goodness. Oh, it's close. Not a drop on me. So I'm gonna let this drain, and I'm gonna pull the wheels and tires off of it. Alright, so I was going to take the axle out of the unit bearing, but I think what I'm going to do is just leave it all connected, undo the unit bearing bolts, and slide the whole thing off in one piece. And then that should, I don't have to slide it out very far, just enough to get the carrier out. Don't sound healthy. Alright, for the hub bolts, it is a, the wheel bearing bolts is a 9/16 12 point. One thing, you hear that? Sounds like my bearings are dry. Now I've seen some stuff for Super Duty unit bearings to pull the speed sensor out and grease it. I wonder if that'll work on a Chevy unit bearing too. That sure sounds dry. smush my finger in between there. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey, except when you're upside down and backwards. Oh yeah, it comes right out. I better stick it back up in there so I don't mess up my speed sensor. My open nail knife. Yes, it's French made. Those are good knives. They're a little clunky and old school. I've had this one for 12 years now. Right, and I'm just going to pull the short side shaft completely out. All right, that easy. Now on to the back to the driver's side. All right, so one other thing I want to pull off will be the tie rod. Just get that out of the way. One thing I do have to be careful about on mine is I have a sleeve in here, and I don't need to lose that. To get this out of the way, I thought I could when I drop the diff out. Maybe should have dropped the other side. What was it? Like that. That's a good one. All right, so got the diff cover off. Pull the carrier out to get the pin out, unless the other side has been. I am going to have to pull. Sometimes you can cut these gears. Just cut the corners off of them, and this will go ahead and slide out. If the other side's like that, which it doesn't appear to be, I'll just slide it out that way. But this has already been pinged. 2 on this side, 1 on this side. So it appears this has been taken apart already. But I don't remember taking it apart. But everything looks pretty good in there. I don't see any, didn't see any metal. Wasn't no metal in there. That's all dirt from taking the cover off. But yeah, it all looks pretty good in there. I'll throw a piece of plywood underneath there just in case it falls. It don't hit the concrete. Thought I broke something. You see that? That nut come off there and hit me in the head. Thought I broke a gear or something. Hopefully that's what it was. I didn't have that axle shaft far enough out when it was getting hung up. Alright, appears to be loose. No shims. Alright. Me. Stick that thing back up in there. Pull this off. All right, there we go. Well, I'll see you all in the shop. And everything looks good in there. The gears look good. Even the spider gears look brand new in it. So I don't know how many miles this truck had on it, but somebody was obviously in it. They may have replaced the bearings in it. I don't know. Instruction booklet, I guess. Well, what's this stuff here? I should probably read the instructions. A couple stickers. Those are going to go on the truck. Is that backward to you or just me? Installation manual. Well, it appears they do axle shafts, lockers. Oh, and they also locker use recommended oil in the gears. Final results. Or to reduce the audible click, you can run 85-140. Let's see. I will probably just put in what oil I need with my 75-90, and if it's still low, I'll fill it up with Lucas, and that Lucas should quiet it down too. Can you see how the cross pin will not come out? So I'm going to have to, well, that looks pretty straightforward. Undo these bolts and take the ring gear off. Clean this off a little bit. And then I'll use a marker and just put a marker on it. That sound good? I think that sounds pretty good. Alright, I'm just going to use a Sharpie or a paint marker. Alright, that should be good enough. Hopefully it don't wipe off. Yeah. That'll be good enough. All right, got that done. I'm gonna spin my vise around. All right, and I'm going to use a chrome socket. You see this? Let's see here. Yeah, there we go. I'm using a chrome socket on the impact. It's going to make some people mad. Well, I guess I'm just going to thread these back down there just a little bit. See if I can knock them out. Oh yeah, that felt right. That's good. All these out. Let me look and see. Don't look like there was any Loctite in any of that. But there's going to be when I put it back together. What do y'all suggest? Blue or red Loctite? For reindeer bolts. There we go. I definitely think I used Lucas on that because it is sticking to the metal. I don't know if you can see it here. I'm hoping. You got to drive it in and out. And maybe all Dana 44s is like that. I just didn't realize that. Everything I've dealt with has been Chevy. Let's see here. Wow. All right. I'm going to find something else to do here. It's the right size, but it's not. I should be able to just, I don't think it messed my drill bit up either. Right, there's the roll pin. Pin out one way or the other. Just let me work it back and forth, see if it's all gummed up. May all be didn't pop out near as easy as it does on a Chevrolet axle. I don't know if that's normal or if something's messed up. Alright, clean this up and look at it. It don't appear. So, what you do, yeah. Looks good. Your spider gears will slide out. Let's make sure there's no shims on the spider gears. Don't see any there. This top piece fell out. Looks good. There is shims here. Let's see here. This one here does have a shim. And so does this one. Those will not be reused. Knock that one out. And let's see. There's shims on it too. So this one is the big side. Alright. Alright, installation. Right. I guess I better read the directions here and see what it says about those thrust washers. Thrust washers. Install newer existing thrust washers into the back side of the backs of the axle gears and press them into grease to help them hold in place. All right. Easy enough. It's not as gritty as it looks. All right. I'm going to take what's going to be this side. Smear some grease around the edges of that. All right, drop that right on this side. All right. Drops down in there nice and smooth. Use this one. Grease. Put on, let's smear it around in here just to make sure it sticks and stays and don't want to fall off. Alright, now I'm covered in grease and gear oil. I am doing good, right? Woo! Alright, let's pop this in here. So that one don't slide out. I'm going to pop this one in there. Just like that. I think you're supposed to put a little grease on all this too. Now we have both. So I'm just going to smear a little grease on the inside here. Go all the way around it. Now, do your ring gear side first. Slide it in here like this, and I am making a mess. This is the easy part. See that? Watch how easy this slides in here. Boop. And I'm not fighting any springs. I'm not fighting any pins. Guess what? It's there. That's it. That's that easy. That is the reason why I went with the Torq Locker and not the Aussie Locker or any of the other brands, was for that right there. You see how easy that was? Now look, I'm just going to spin this around. I'll drive my pin back in on this just to make sure. Alright, I got some grease in there. Raise this back up. Oh, the grease. My goodness, dude. Get in there. Let's go in. Now, get that lined up. Alright, let's straighten this pin up in here. Make sure it goes in straight. Alright. That pin dropped right in. Let me go ahead and drive the roll pin back in. The right size dowel. Okay. Appears it went in this way. Alright, now you only have two things to do now. Have this completely installed, and that is to install these little springs. Them little springs. You see how easy that was? I didn't fight no spring. To press the spring and the pick to spread it, but let's see what happens. Oh, it's not that bad. I just used my fingers. There we go. That one's in there. Alright, let's spin it around and do this one. I just drove the screwdriver up in there pretty good. And you can see the springs are not terribly stiff. That one in, oh, about dropped it. Alright, and then just shove that one down in there all the way. I can smash my fingers. All right, there we go. Make sure they're in there good. Don't want them popping out on us. All right, there it is. That locker is installed and I am excited. Okie doke. I do need to take some measurements. You're supposed to take a measurement in between the edge here and just see. So let me go grab my. So it says the spacing should be between 145 thousandths and 175 thousandths. I believe that's right. Let's see what this measures up to. Add some of these together and get this measurement. Oh, it's looser than that one. Use the big side here. Alright. Start adding little stuff. Make sure all these things are pushed up. There you go. You see it's in there. I didn't wedge it in there, but it's in there. Alright, so I can either do the math on all this, or I'm just going to go grab my calipers and measure this thickness. Well, I guess I'm just going to do the stupid math. Piece of crap. Digital calipers. So we have so it's a little tight. All right, I'm gonna go on video here and say that I'm 6 too tight. I'm running it. I won't put it all back together since I've still got daylight and it's warm out, but I will contact them and see what they say. Put this thing on there. White mark. Line white marks up. I'm just going to grab a couple of these. Just try to get them started in there. Oh yeah, lined right up. And that one, I'm going to go complete opposite. Alright, you see that? Take each one of my bolts with Loctite and drop them in here. Done it? What do you think? 55? Seems light. Alright, so I think I'm going to go against them, and I'm going to go on up to 70. I probably should have used red Loctite, but these bolts have little ridges on the head to keep them from backing out. I'm going to get my brass wheel. I'm going to go clean that Tell him I'm putting his loud butt on YouTube. Let's see here. Come on now. Get in there. Let's see what I'm throwing against me here. Lay on my back, see if I can get a hole in my head. Sitting on the bolts. Go grab my torque wrench and I'll torque that down to 60 foot-pounds. Throw everything on the sides back together and then spin the tires opposite direction. Make sure the locker will engage and disengage. And that there is why I don't want to have to do ring and pinion in the truck. So what I was saying was, you know, I've not spent all day on